Hi, friends. Welcome to Getting Your Real Estate Life Together. I'm Tracy Hicks with All Things Real Estate, and I'm super excited today because I get to talk to Katie and Chase about the Go-To Agent Society. And because there's three of us, I pre-warn them. Sometimes it's like, oh, who's going to talk? So, Katie, will you please introduce yourself first, and then we'll hear from Chase.
Perfect. Thank you, Tracy. My name is Katie Chadwick. I was licensed in 2017. I am in beautiful, sunny Southern California.
Whatever.
Over at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. And I am just an absolutely fun-loving kind of gal. I love to, connect with other people. I got 4 dogs, happily married. I got a lot going on and a lot of love to give. And Chase, tell us a little bit about you.
Yes. So I am also Katie still does real estate, but I am an ex-real estate agent. I got my license in 2016, fresh out of high school, ready to just hit the ground running. And I learned early on in my real estate career that I loved the industry, but I wasn't so in love with helping clients. I was in love with the marketing side of things. So I needed to figure out how to kind of get into more of that space. And before Katie and I joined up and partnered together for the Go-To Agent Society, I was actually a brand designer for real estate agents as well. So that's a little bit about me. I'm also in Southern California. And a fun little fact, Katie and I used to be childhood neighbors. That's how we know each other. That's how this business came to be. We grew up as little girls in this small cul-de-sac. And we rode our scooters and our bikes all around all the time.
Oh my
Chase
God,
drove
world
us
domination.
around in her little Barbie car.
So crazy. Okay, wait, have you guys been friends since? Or
Yes. Yeah. Ever
no
since.
way.
We would play Zoo Tycoon together. Little did we know life would bring us back together.
That is so crazy.
Yeah. So hilarious.
That's an awesome story. Also, too, the reason why I'm like, whatever, is because I'm in Portland and the weather, actually it was a little bit sunny today and we get really excited. The dog will like find the sun spot and be like, oh my gosh, sunshine. They missed that.
Yeah.
Same with us, so again, whatever, being in California. Okay, so first of all, I did not know that you guys are both. So Chase, you just said you got your license right out of high school. Katie, you pretty close right after, right?
Yeah, a few years after.
Okay, what in the world? Like why were you thinking about real estate right out of high school?
Yeah, Chase, right after high school.
Yeah. So for me, I was working as a hostess at this restaurant and the boss was not very friendly to anybody. Like there were times where she would cuss us out when I closed because I didn't move the bar stool out at the bar to sweep under it. So it was a very, very toxic work environment that I had no patience for. And all throughout high school, I had taken business classes. So like entrepreneurship classes, I had to write business plans. I actually had one specific class where we built our business and took it to competitions and actually like did that sort of stuff. So I was in the advertising department there in my little make-believe business, which was at the time a 50s themed diner, totally irrelevant, but it was fun. And that's where I really learned the business mindset and the marketing side of things.
Okay.
And so I knew from then on that I wanted to be my own boss and do my own thing. And real estate just seemed like a really great entry point for that because you take your classes, you sign up with a brokerage, you get your training. And from then on, you're like on your own. You can do what you want. You can manage your business and run it like a business,
Right. Okay. Did you know anybody in real estate or you just...
I had one girl who I knew of in high school, but we weren't really friends. And I was following her on social media and she had gotten her license. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Maybe I'll chat with her about it. So we talked for like maybe 3 text messages back and forth. And then I bought my classes for my real estate stuff on Groupon for like $50. And I just did a full send. I just went for it, took
Oh
my
my
classes, got my license.
That is so freaking awesome. That makes me so jealous. I'm like, I wish I would have been like, I was not thinking about business when high school at all. Okay, Katie, tell me your story about.
Yeah. So
becoming a
absolutely.
realtor.
All my life, my mom was an escrow officer.
Ah,
And growing up, I had no clue what that meant.
right.
All I knew was that she worked a lot, and month ends don't even talk to her. And so growing up, she was always like, don't get into real estate. Don't get into real estate. And it did happen for a while, right? I got like a envelope stuffing job, and then I moved to Starbucks, was a personal trainer. So I'm kind of like tasting things, right? Seeing what fit, what didn't. And then at one point I was looking for something new, and I saw this like ad out for a job, and it was about like must love working on a team, goal oriented, good attitude. And I'm like, that's me. And I totally thought it was a scam because I was like, this sounds too good to be true. And what ended up happening was I got hired for one of the top producing agents in my town.
Wow.
And I learned so much so fast, trial by fire for sure. And I was handling like 12 escrows at a time with no prior real estate knowledge.
Wow.
And as an assistant, you know how it is. You kind of want a bigger piece of the pie.
Yep.
And so I let him know, hey, I kind of am curious about getting my license. And ever since then, it's been this like locomotive. Like every time I think maybe it's not real estate, like just some new avenue of real estate makes itself available to me. And, I ended up leaving that team and moving to Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. And I was the broker's assistant. And so I helped run marketing campaigns for the entire brokerage. I helped plan trainings. And it was so funny because at that point in time, Chase and I were both like living in parallel universes where we were both helping our brokerages do social media trainings.
Right.
And I ended up having her on for a previous podcast I had with one of my peers. And we had so much fun geeking out about marketing. It was like my peer wasn't even there. It was just me and Chase, right? We were just like, and yeah, we reconnected after that. And we kind of lost touch after that, right?
Yeah, we lost touch for a little bit, and then like I wouldn't say magnets because they oppose each other, but like we were just drawn together again by this commonality that we had.
Yeah, absolutely. And time went on and changed, and then we just started kind of co-working together. Yeah. And we would just be on calls to like this and just kind of keeping each other company. And one day we decided, hey, do you want to, I had a buyer guide that I put together, and she had a seller guide she put together. And we're like, well, why don't we just bundle this and see if we can sell it? And that happened February of last year. It has not stopped since. So
okay, wait. So we're definitely perfect segue into Go-To Agent Society.
Yes.
But I want to back up for just a second, because something you said is something that I'm hearing right now a lot in the industry is that, first of all, realtors, you talked about a team, and realtors are always trying to figure out at what point in time do I build a team? If an agent is overloaded, that's always the question. At what point do I bring somebody on? But I love that you just talked about the fact that you had no real estate. Your mom was an escrow officer, which is also, by the way, super cool. You never hear about that. You always hear about, your parents were realtors but never the escrow side. So, you had a little experience that way, but probably not because you were like, I don't know what my mom does. But it goes to show that it's always about, and I say this a lot, it's about the person, maybe not necessarily their experience or whatever. And obviously you're a go-getter, and you are, you can make things happen. And that's what a lot of agents need. So I just want to point that out to anybody who's thinking about bringing somebody on. And it's like, do I bring on a licensed person or an unlicensed person, and kind of how that flows? And really it does come down to the relationship, just like with your clients, right? Like the people on your team or your assistant or your buyer's agent or whatever the case may be, it's not necessarily like I'm looking for this specifically, but maybe you find the right person and then you meld that into your business and however it morphs into, whatever that morphs into.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. And it's skills can be taught. Almost anything can be taught.
Exactly.
You know what can't be taught? The right personality.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
Personality.
And if
Character.
you're looking to grow your team, agents, make sure you got your systems down first.
Yeah.
Bring an
Yeah.
assistant on to help you with that, because that is the bread and butter right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, okay. And then you also really quickly, you talked about you started on the team and then you moved over. So we hear that a lot too. Were you doing your own business at the time when you decided to move over, or?
Right. So at that point in time, I think what happened was they wanted the assistant forever and
Yeah.
not the agent.
Yeah.
So, you know how it happens in real estate? Things
Yep.
fall apart just to fall back together again.
Yeah.
But basically, had started my licensing as I departed, and as I came into Berkshire Hathaway, it was mostly the assistant role, right? And finish your license in your spare time.
Yeah.
And so it was like a pretty smooth transition. Thankfully, I know some people have to like cut and dry,
Yeah.
but I was able to transition from assistant role to assistant role with, getting my license and then moving into, hey, I'm just going to do the agent thing, not the assistant thing anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And Chase, you did your own thing, or were you on a team as well?
No, I did my own thing. So I was a hostess first. And then as I was going through the curriculum to get my license, I actually quit my job because I had enough of a cushion for myself. And then while I was taking my licensing courses, I went to Keller Williams because that's where I was taking my license
Mhm.
or planning to.
Yeah.
And I did all the trainings that I could,
Yep.
like prepared my listing packet, my buyer presentation, all the things. So that way, as soon as I got my license,
You were
I could go
ready
to the
go.
office and get ready to go.
Yeah. Okay. So then how was that starting off, like on your own?
It was great, actually. Like I definitely had the mentors in place at the office. My office had a productivity coach that we worked with very closely for accountability and everything.
Super helpful.
And it was amazing. I did open houses every weekend, had a pipeline full of people, and I honestly couldn't have asked for a better start to the real estate career.
That's so cool. I love that. Okay. So Katie, you're referring your business out right now, correct?
Yes.
And how did you set that up for yourself? How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sorry, I'm only taking referrals. So I'm not like going and actively searching for clients.
Right.
So yeah, if someone knows me and they want to work with me, that's what I am focusing on mostly, just because of everything else we have going on. I don't really have the time to really work, because I love first time home buyers are my weakness. Okay. Like I love to hold hands and explain things in thorough detail.
Yeah.
And I just love the excitement of it all. But with buyers, especially in this market, you have to be ready to drop everything.
Yeah.
And I can't do that for more than one client right now. So I keep my books, really tight. And if I find someone is maybe a little bit more or needing a little bit more than I can give them, then I'm actually on a team, a different team, same brokerage that I just refer them to at this point.
Okay. And do you keep in touch, or do you just refer them and then that's that?
It gets complicated when you refer and stay in touch, because then you're like kind of involved.
Yeah.
So like that, the handoff is always awkward. Like it's like they're still collecting to you and they want to work with you, but you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Like I trust them. You're gonna be okay. But I usually just hand them off and I say, hey, if you need anything at all, just think of me as like a supplemental, but they are your main point of contact, because you want to establish that authority with the person you're referring them to.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also want to say too, because when I transitioned from being a realtor to starting all things, same thing, but I was like, oh, I'll just refer everybody out. And I'm like, I'm going to get all this referral business and it's just going to come my way. But it's definitely not true. Like you have to work a referral business just like a business, but also too. So there's two different, I think there's just two different buckets of referral systems, and just we're all the same in that we wanted to focus more on this business rather than the referral. But if a realtor is trying to maybe get out of, either working or, they want to retire or whatever, that's a totally different referral type. And I do have to say that you have to work at that a little bit. You still have to market it. You still have to let people know you're a realtor. It's just like being a realtor, like the whole marketing side of it, but you're just not doing the main stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of agents can streamline and automate. Those are our two favorite words.
Yeah.
Like a lot of that with like something like send out cards where they can just, send out cards for important dates.
Exactly.
But yeah, totally. That's a whole business in itself for sure.
It really is. Yeah. And Chase, so you just don't do any of that at all? Do you refer? What do you do?
No, I actually don't have my license anymore. I let it expire. So
that's right.
Yeah, probably not the smartest idea because I could have always referred it out. But my mom also has her license too. And obviously Katie has hers.
Yeah.
So I've got connections.
Yep. Yeah. I did the same thing. I let mine expire. I was like, oh, and then I had like 3 people and I'm all, okay, I'll get mine. Let me cram my 30 hours in. I was like, I'm not letting that lapse again just for, and also too, it's just being an active realtor. I also have a brokerage. So it's more than just, all things real estate for me. But yeah, I love hearing how different people structure because we all 3 structure it similar, but all different. So I think that realtors need to hear that more often, that it is about what works for you. It's not like you're supposed to do it this way or this, a norm or whatever. The norm is your norm, whatever.
Yes.
So
I love that.
Yeah.
There's this phrase that I've been like coining. I've been like pushing it so hard on people, but I'm like, every time I see agents getting like caught up, like, what should I do? Right. And I'm like, hey, we're on a floating rock in space. Like there are no rules, right? You just have to do what's best for you. And they're always like, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. It's just like when my clients, I mean, you hear it all the time, as soon as somebody hears that you're a realtor, they're like, oh, is now the time to sell or is now the time to buy? And I always turn it back on them and say, I don't know. Is it like, what's going on in your life? It's the same for realtors. It's, it's like, I don't know what is best for you. And I think you just get so caught up in the day to day. And I'm sure we all do it too, where you're like, oh, it has to be a specific way. And it's like, oh, wait, let me sit back and look at this. And it doesn't. And so let me get myself back out of my box that I've put myself in. And so that really, people need to hear that. So,
oh, for sure. The answers are already within you. You already know what your people need, what your business needs. You just got to listen.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So let's talk about Go-To Agent Society because I love great businesses for realtors. And I think that what you guys are doing is so fantastic. And I'm a little jealous because I'm like, I'm doing it too, just in a different way, helping agents, but I just love what you guys are doing. So I'm going to let you talk about what it is that Go-To Agent Society is. And then I want to hear, then I have a bunch of questions for you.
Okay. All right. Because I'll let you take that one.
Oh boy, you gave me the big question.
Always.
Okay. It's okay. I've done it to you too. I don't even know how many times.
Right.
Okay.
Partnerships.
But in the Go-To Agent Society, we help real estate agents authentically attract free, high quality leads without cold calling or door knocking. So we basically teach them how to use social media to attract those leads and automate their follow-up through their pipeline.
Yeah.
So we want to make it to where they have an easy, authentic, and fun relationship with social media and not something that's really scary or icky or makes you feel cheesy or like a used car salesman. We really want them to take their strengths, implement that in social media, and have fun with it.
Yeah. Perfect. Good job. Cut.
See, that's why I gave it to her.
Exactly.
I'm like, how much time you got? 2 hours?
Okay, Katie, do you have anything to add before I jump into some of my questions?
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess there's a lot of products out there for agents, right? And there's a lot of big promises from marketers and agents and marketers are kind of at odds with each other right now, right? Because
Yeah.
so many agents I know, especially us personally, have been burned by marketers and Facebook ads and all kinds of paid advertising. And that's why we are like absolutely hell bent on helping agents take the power from marketers back and put it in their own pocket and kind of empower them to generate their own leads instead of being like, well, who should I pay to generate these leads for me? And the leads are tired, right? They're getting called by 12 other agents and they tell you to F off, right? And that never feels good. And yeah, that's just something, if you couldn't tell, we're quite passionate about. And it's just, it's so much more fun to do it through social media in a way that's authentic to you, because the people who DM you and reach out to you want to do business with you.
Yeah.
And they respect what you have to say, and you're not chasing them. They're coming to you. You're attracting them. So that's what I love about it.
Yeah. And I also love too, you hit the nail on the head where there's so much out there. There's so many, and that's great because there's someone for everyone, right? And there's enough business to go around for everyone, and everybody's looking for a little bit, something different. Again, going back to what the agent needs and figuring that part out, and then figuring out what type of system, I want to go with as an agent. That stuff is just so important to think about. And just like you said, we've all been burned. I was told when I started this business, I got burned big time, and we did our research and we really thought we had picked the right company, and it was really expensive. And I was still realtoring to pay for that. And it just turned out to be something different than we thought. Mistakes happen in business, and sometimes you have to go through that to really figure out what it is that you need or don't need. And so what is it about Go-To Agent Society that, I mean, you kind of gave us a little elevator pitch, but what is it exactly so say I sign up, then what?
Then the awesomeness happens. So basically, we onboard everyone in within a week. You have all your perks, you know how to access your portal, but let's talk about the journey itself. And the journey itself starts with, creating a brand that attracts your ideal client. So we don't want your brokers, close your ears. And I know you're one too, but we want our agents to have their own brand, right? Because God forbid, life happens. And sometimes we got to move brokers, and maybe we move across the country or something crazy, right? And when we do that, and when you move brokerages, if you've established a brand based on your brokerage, you got to start from square zero. And we see that happening time and time again, which is why we really spend a lot of time with agents in developing a brand that is literally them in a brand, right? You can, if someone is sunshiny and they love to laugh, guess what? They probably have yellow in their colors. It's just so them.
Yeah.
And it attracts people who, again, are attracted to that same kind of aesthetic or energy. And so we help them build that brand. And it's not this big scary thing, right? It's a few Canva templates, a questionnaire, and they've got this beautiful brand that represents them as a person. And we also help them narrow down, instead of trying to market to everyone, we help them narrow down their messaging so that it becomes a lot less overwhelming to start creating content. So that is the create section. There is a captivate section where we talk about how to write content that actually gets people to raise their hands, right? Because we ask agents all the time, we're like, what are you struggling with? And it's always content.
Yeah.
And it's not only they need ideas, but no one's responding, right? No one's engaging. And so we teach our agents, what is the kind of content that's going to generate you leads, as opposed to the fluff that's just taking up space on the timeline, taking up brain calories for you, for your audience, and wasting everyone's time. And we teach them how to decipher the difference. Again, more Canva templates, more strategies involved in that. And then the convert section is basically converting them on autopilot, which is loosely setting up a landing page and an automated email sequence. So that way people, you're doing your own thing. You're posting on social media, and people are signing up for, if you have a freebie or a lead magnet, which we provide and we teach, which gets people to sign up. So basically we teach them how to go from brand to getting your audience on social media to become leads. And it's it's a lot of fun in between too.
Yeah. Yeah. I also want to say too, brokerages know that agents need to be having their own brand. And that's why some of the big box brands are allowing that to happen. Now, some don't, but there are, I mean, my company, we've always said from the beginning, you know, brand yourself. And we've made changes within our company to allow realtors to put that money back in their business, because it's not about us as a brokerage, it's about our realtors. And if they're successful, then we're successful. So, and we don't need our real estate signage to be everywhere or whatever. So they can do whatever they want. A lot of times we do have pretty great branding, so they do like to use ours.
Yeah.
But they know that at some point, if they want to, that they can do their own thing and then have that forever. So they have a great brand until they're ready. Cause it's a lot of work. And I think it is a lot of headspace. Like realtors get in their head. They're like, oh my gosh, what if I have to think about all of these other things and have to go show houses and go to a home inspection and call the plumber, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So you guys help with the actual branding?
Yes. So Chase, she said her background was in branding. She basically took the process that she did for her real estate clients, and we just made it like as simple as possible and like as fun and easy as possible. And we just take agents through that, you know, it's like what, 3 steps?
Yeah, it's about 3 steps.
Yeah. Just so they go from, I have no idea, to here's this brand that represents me, including color palette, logo, fonts, yeah, and all kinds of fun stuff. And they don't have to be a graphic designer to be able to accomplish that.
Right.
No, and we even include like logo templates that they can swipe if they want. So we really take the guesswork out of it and make it to where they don't have to put a ton of effort in, because it can be a very overwhelming process, but we really, really simplified it and made it very cut and dry. So that way they still get to be themselves and answer the questions in the questionnaire as if they're going through the professional process.
Yeah.
But they're still able to do it themselves and make it their own.
Yeah. It's almost like what you were saying, Katie, you really like the hand holding of the first time home buyers. Realtors are almost the same. Like they need that. They just need that little extra, you know, boost or help, or even just the questionnaire itself. That's where people get stuck. They're like, I don't even know where to start. And so by giving them that starting point, and I love that you guys are talking about the strategy side of it and actually, you know, being who you are and being authentic, because a lot of realtors, especially realtors that have been realtoring for a long time, I've been doing it 17 years. And I still feel like even back then, because I was really into branding and I really wanted my own thing. And I think it kind of was starting then, but it was a little bit foreign. So it has been a while where realtors can't actually think of their own brand. It was like, it's also just in society in general. I mean, the only people that were branding were McDonald's and Coke and, you know, like that's who corporations is who do branding. It's like, we don't think all the way down to our level to where like entrepreneurs and realtors, we tell realtors all the time, or I do, that you're your own mini company. You're your own business.
Yeah,
you're your own corporation. Like you have to treat it just the same. And once you start thinking about that, you are like, yeah, because even if you don't decide to switch brokerages, it just makes life so much easier when you have your own brand, when you're happy about it and you feel, you know, you're like, oh, that's mine. And let's be real, like nobody really knows where you work unless there is a sign in their front yard, you know, if it's a listing, but most buyers don't even know they want to work with you as an agent. And so for you to help them through that process and really bring out who they are as an agent in their branding is so freaking important. I love hearing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you were saying you're your own corporation, I was like freaking out over here, because we're always telling agents, you are the brand. Yep. How you talk is your brand. How you dress is your brand. Yep. How you show up is your brand. And it's so important to have that represented for the world to see, right? Like it feels good to be seen and, appreciated for the person that you are. And branding is a great way to do that.
And when you're trying to be something you're not, it's so hard. It's so much extra work because you're doing crap that you don't want to do. And just like you said, and I say that about door knocking too, because I was never a cold caller or a door knocker. I just couldn't do it. But there are agents that do it and are really good at it. It's like, yes, keep doing that. Do the stuff that you really love to do. And then don't try to do stuff that you're not good at or that you don't like to do. However, social media is something that a lot of realtors hate doing, but have to do. So how do you guys help them with that and like incorporate that into their business where it doesn't feel like, just like you said, like, oh, I got to post to Instagram and what content am I going to use? So how do you guys help them through that process?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we like to, first of all, give them permission to do less. A lot of agents are actually doing too much stuff on social media, posting 3 to 4 times a day. I'm like, okay, wait, are you like a real estate agent or like a social media manager? Because we want you to be empowered to be a real estate agent, not manage your social media 24/7. So Chase, go ahead and tell her some of the strategies we use for our agents.
Yes. So we really, really help them get clear on who their audience is so they can create relevant content for that audience. So we ask them things like, or we give them examples of questions to ask too, to help uncover like their fears, their pains, and their goals for their clients. So by creating or by uncovering those fears, pains, and goals, you're able to have this, we call it, or our members call it, a content tsunami that you can just repurpose and reuse over and over again by just posting 2 or 3 times a week. So by touching on those fears, pains, and goals just a couple times a week, you're able to create more impact because you're creating content that actually resonates with them and gets them to want to keep reading and to want to keep following you and binging your content and eventually DMing you or downloading your lead magnet from the link in your bio. Like we give them caption structures that they can follow. We give them content ideas. Every month we have a content planning party. And also we have this text message service as part of the membership where we send them social media post ideas Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every week. Like we really take the guesswork out of it for them so that they can create content that's actually going to resonate.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's really important too. I love that you said like a content party or whatever. I think that social media really, really should be a part of your business strategy. I mean, obviously there are some realtors that are like either they're old school or they just don't love technology or whatever the case may be. And maybe it's not for them, but it's a very small percentage and that's going to narrow out at some point. But I think that I feel like with social media and content and marketing, they always feel like that's not in the business plan bubble. It's out here, like it's something floating around that they have to do. If you bring that in and make that a part of your business structure and make that, if you're a time blocker, you need to block that time out every week to, work on, if you just sit down and think about it and get it done for the week, or, this week I want to focus on craftsman houses or, first time home buyers or whatever the case may be, and really hone in on that. You're also, all of the stuff that you guys are saying, you're honing, they all have a tribe, right? You want to work with the people that are like you, because you know that when that other person, you end up firing them. If it's somebody that you knew you shouldn't have taken on or whatever. But if you're attracting your tribe and your people, it just makes your job so much nicer. And content is a huge part of that because that's how you're attracting the people.
Exactly. Yeah. And we also give a lot of strategy because I know a lot of agents have like difficulty, like, okay, cool, but how do I get local followers? And that's a strategy we've really honed in on and had a lot of our agents recently. They basically, they've been giving their platform to local businesses and they're getting reshared on local pages because of that. So there's so many intricacies, of course, involved in marketing, but like we know it's our job as marketers to give the agents what they need to keep moving forward. They don't need all the fluff. They don't need the BS. They just need what's going to get them, that local audience, because that's huge.
Yeah. I love that. We did a thing on collabs too. Like, think about a huge collab, but bring it down to your level, like a local coffee shop, and exactly what you just said, they're going to share your stuff out. Start a podcast and bring on your local people and talk, or bring on, your home inspector or your, your real estate team. That's like your mortgage person, your escrow person, all of that, and be the go-to for that type of information. And I think they just don't think it's all about the strategy. And I love that you guys focus on that so much.
Yeah.
You talked about a group. Do you guys have a Facebook group that all your members are a part of, or how do you bring everybody or do you bring people together?
Yeah, well, we have to. We just love our members, and our members have so much to offer each other that we have a Facebook group that is just kind of for the communal aspect. Our educational content is based somewhere else on a different platform. But yeah, our Facebook group is popping. Like there's people always posting like these huge wins. They're like,
Yay.
guys, this is working for me. Like, this is exactly what I did. Go do this in your market. And like me and Chase, we could try to take credit for the awesomeness that is a Go-To Agent Society, but that is 100% our members. Like our members they're very much the iron sharpens iron. And there's this like abundance mindset where it's not so much like, if there's this giant pie in the sky and if I have more, someone else has less. It's all about like, let's make each other better and let's cheer each other on, which is just phenomenal.
Yeah. And our live calls, there's a lot of camaraderie there too. Like, especially our content planning party that I mentioned earlier, that is huge. It is our biggest event every single month. We get a ton of our members come in. We share new examples of content that our other specific members are like maybe wanting to share, but don't know how. So we help them brainstorm. And then we have a section towards the end where other people can chime in and say, oh my gosh, I have this idea. How would you execute that? And we chime in a little bit, but really our members chime in even more. Yeah. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is how you should do it. Or, oh, I'm stealing this. Is that okay? And they're like, yeah, of course, use it. We're in different markets. Go ahead, use it, share it, like to let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
And it's very, very collaborative.
Yeah. It's like a mastermind.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You want the community to kind of take that on and you just become, a facilitator and you get to step back and see all of that stuff that is happening and then just add your little, tidbits in there. Your content party, do tell, like how does that work and how long is it and like how many people show up or participate? Like walk us through a quick content party.
Yeah. So we do it monthly and we're moving it now to the second or the third. The third Wednesday of the month. So that way they have time to plan their content. So it's for the upcoming month and we all hop on a live Zoom call. I will often wear party hats. Chase, she never holds up her end of the deal.
I always forget.
Always leaves me hanging with the stupid hats.
I'm with you, Chase.
Yeah. Well, this upcoming one, she has to wear one and that's the goal. And basically what we do is we walk our agents through like the strategy we use to, again, create that content tsunami is what our members call it, where basically you are really creating content that resonates around the fears, the pains, and the goals of your audience instead of the fluffy, here's a funny meme, here's national, go put a cucumber on your neighbor's doorstep day. That's actually a real thing.
Oh my God.
And like other content that's kind of just like noise. So we really focus more on the lead generating content and really focus in on, okay, guys, who has an idea? How can we help you turn that into a caption? How can we help you turn that caption into something that's going to generate leads for you? And it's about 45 minutes. Sometimes it goes up to an hour with our members talking and everything, collaborating, but it's short. Well, we don't add any fluff. So we like to get straight to it and then we keep it open at the end. So questions, concerns, excitements, share wins. And then after that, we cut them loose. What about you, Chase? Did I miss anything?
No, I think you pretty much nailed it. I mean, like I said before, it's pretty much just a collaborative hour where we go over like a couple things, but really they take the reins and go over their ideas and we just let it happen.
Yeah. Do you guys see, like, I wonder about this. I feel like marketing stuff just moves so fast that I feel like some of the stuff is already like outdated in terms of like, again, going back to strategy. What do you guys recommend for people? Do you recommend like a theme for the month or how do you get them to kind of like hone in or have some sort of organization in their planning? What is your theory on that?
Yes. So
Katie, you guys can tell, but I was staring at Chase. Like you are the organized one. I am chaos. This is your question. Go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, it all goes to the fears, pains, and goals. We don't really have themes for each month or like craftsman homes. We don't have a theme for that or anything.
Yeah.
It's more so just the fears, pains, and goals. And then do we want to chat about the different flavors we give the fears, pains, and goals a little bit, Katie?
Yeah, I think so. Because basically, we give our agents content calendars for the entire year.
Okay.
But what makes it cool is they're all going to be different.
Yeah.
Because everyone has a different ideal client that they're working for. So, like empty nesters versus first time homebuyers have different fears, they have different pain points, they have different goals. And so, by having like a select niche or niche, it's pronounced both ways in case you're wondering. I Googled it just to make sure.
Depends on the time of day.
Yeah, it helps them like simplify. And so, we give them again the calendar. And instead of just being like, only talking about fears, only talking about pains, and like kind of coming off a little preachy.
Yeah.
There's different flavors you can add to it to kind of change it up a little bit. So Chase, go ahead and talk about that.
Yes. So the different flavors that we teach on are information posts. So it's just sharing straight value with your audience, educating them. We also have motivational posts. So posts that inspire your audience to take action, conversational posts that kind of just get them to comment a little bit more, engage with you a little bit more, ask them questions. And the fourth and final flavor is building a relationship post. So in these posts, we kind of share stories, share more about the personal side of your life, not exposing all the skeletons in your closet, but sharing the stories that they can relate to, like maybe that first time you bought a house and you didn't know what the heck was going on, or the cost that you didn't expect in the home buying process, stuff that you experienced and you know that they're dealing with too.
Yeah.
That you can kind of connect the dots a little bit better for them. And then from there, we basically just say, okay, you're going to take fear one, make it an information post one day. The next time you post, it's going to be pain one, motivation post. The next one's going to be goal, conversation post, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
just repeating that pattern over and over and over again. And then from there, like they really only need a quarter worth of content. Once they have 3 months worth of content created, take that best performing content and repurpose it over and over and over again in second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, until the end of time.
Right. No, that's awesome. Okay, before I forget, so I want to talk about, there's 3 more things that I want to make sure that I get before we wrap up. I want to talk about Canva really quickly.
Yes.
I also want to talk about your take on Reels.
Okay.
On Instagram right now.
Yes.
And then I also want to talk about schedule platforms that do scheduling for you or whatever. So just really quickly, Canva, you talked a little bit about some of the templates that you guys have and things like that. Is there anything else that we missed that we wanted to talk about with Canva?
It's awesome. Sign up for it. It's incredible.
Yes. Also, if you don't know how to use Canva, we do have a free Facebook group with over 20,000 agents called Canva for Real Estate Agents.
Okay.
So it's got tutorials all over the place. I think we have like, I don't even know, dozens of tutorials, over 100 something templates that other agents share that you can use. And it's really like again, we've created a very collaborative space there for agents to share with other agents. It's really fun.
Good. Canva for Real Estate Agents, right?
Yes.
Facebook group. Okay. Everybody needs to join that. Okay. Can we talk about Reels on Instagram?
Yes, please.
Yes. I'll let you guys talk about it, but tell me your take. What are you telling your clients to do, and any advice?
Okay. Yes. We actually had a Reels workshop with a real expert. She was the whole time. She's like, can you please stop making that joke? But you guys, I get it. It's scary to do Reels. It's something new. And it feels like just this complete alien thing, but trust us when we say, just do it. All you have to do, you don't even have to dance. You can just point and smile. That's all you have to do.
Yep.
And get in there, play with it, because what Instagram is doing at this current moment, they are throwing throwing algorithm favor in direction of those people who are posting those reels, and people are loving that type of content, right? Because Instagram, they copied TikTok because they saw it was a craze, right? And so they brought that over to Instagram. And so it's just a fun, different way to engage with your audience that allows them to see you in like a little bit more of a playful way. And they can be silly. They can be, a little bit more educational. We have had great success with our reels, a lot of engagement, even the most basic ones. People love it. It's just a new, exciting way to engage with other people. So Chase, what do you have to add about reels?
Yes, it is probably the quickest way to grow follower count on Instagram because, like Katie said, they're throwing algorithm favor up the wazoo at them. And so people are more likely to show up on the explore page when they make reels consistently. They're probably the highest discoverability right now. Like, you're more likely to see a reel as you're scrolling through than if you were looking at hashtags, because they're starting to go to reels more often than hashtags now. Like,
yeah,
if you can be consistent with reels and you can do it, definitely do it, because you're going to grow your engagement, you're going to grow your following, and as a result, you're going to grow your business.
Yeah. Yep. And that's another thing too, is you have to kind of know what businesses and companies are doing. Just like you said, like Instagram is throwing all this attention at the reels because Instagram and Facebook didn't buy TikTok, right? TikTok still is just their own. So they're in direct competition with them. So if you're an Instagrammer and you know that company is trying to put more of their attention on reels because they're trying to knock TikTok out, you have to know that kind of stuff, right? It's not like you have to like read up and know everything, but just keep up a little bit with what's going on. And I also appreciate that groups like what you guys have created in your community, that those conversations are taking place. Those are comfortable places for realtors to ask those questions that feel like silly questions, but are not. And also too, I will say that I am not a selfie video person, but we are forcing ourselves to do reels, but we're not in them. We're doing it with our products. So, doesn't have to be you, just like you said, dancing or even the pointing, like you can do it take little videos of the houses that you're touring, just do a quick, and you don't have to do it. You can save your drafts, like it, just learn a little bit about it and utilize it just as much as you can. And it doesn't have to be the whole gamut, but you definitely have to make sure that you have a reel. And I'm guilty of it. If I'm on Instagram and I'm scrolling, like click on one person's reel, I'm in the reels thing now. And now I'm just scrolling through reels and, watching those. And then the last thing that I heard about it was that they're not allowing, because before you could share your TikTok to reel.
Yep.
So now there's like an app, somebody created an app to take the TikTok logo off of your TikTok, and then you can still share it. Anyway, if you're a TikToker and you want to be on Reels and you just want to repurpose your content, you still can. You just have to get a little more creative.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that being said, at this current moment, there is talk of Instagram removing some of that algorithm favor for using the TikTok videos.
Yeah.
So Instagram is like, they're asking us to be committed, right? They don't want us flirting. They don't want us, taking TikTok out on dates. They want, that commitment. So if you, instead of definitely hang out on Instagram Reels as opposed to like trying to do all the things.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that may change, but yeah, Instagram is like cracking down on that for sure.
Yeah. So do your Reels. I mean, if somebody's listening to this a year from now,
right.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Next week.
There may not be an Instagram. Who knows?
Right. Okay. So the last thing I want to chat about, because I know that a lot of people, including us, we use a scheduling platform, but a lot of people just trying to take less work off. What is your opinion about the scheduling apps and just your thoughts behind that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Our favorite platform that we always recommend is Planoly. It is the easiest, most user-friendly, most aesthetically pleasing platform for us to use. And we just love the features that it has, like the auto posting, adding the additional first comment so that you can add your hashtags there. That is only available on the paid plan, but it is only $9 a month. And it's just, you can see your entire grid at a glance, drag and drop things. It's so easy,
Yeah.
so easy. But if you don't want to make a $9 a month investment, we have used the Facebook Creator Studio as well. And that is a great option that we also encourage our members to use because it's a native platform for Facebook and Instagram. So it's going to work seamlessly. You're not going to have any algorithm hits or anything by using that. Planoly is an Instagram partner, so you still won't have any algorithm hits or anything like that by using Planoly. But both platforms are definitely great options, depending on if you want a free option or a paid option. With the Facebook Creator Studio, however, you don't have the option to do the automatic first comment like you would on Planoly. So that kind of hinders your discoverability a little bit more.
Yeah.
But if you're on Instagram and you're like available at the time that the post is going out, you can easily just copy and paste your hashtags over in a comment and it's not that big of a deal, or even just add it in the caption at that point.
Okay. And so like we use Sked Social, it's schedule. I think it used to be called Schedulegram. And so what is your take on, or just kind of in knowing the algorithm? Because a lot of people are concerned about that, where they're like, oh, I'm using this platform, but is Instagram going to ding me because I'm scheduling it out and I'm not posting it directly to Instagram? Is that really a thing? Is it a big deal? Is it not? What's
Yep.
your thought about that?
Right. If it's not a big deal, because if that makes a difference between you scheduling something and you not posting because you're putting out fires all day long, then it's not that big of a deal at all. So just schedule things out.
Just get it out.
Just get it out.
All about progress over perfection. If you can take action and start implementing something, do it and don't worry about it being perfect, because like if you wait for it to be perfect, you're going to be waiting months, years, decades. Like you don't even know how long you're going to wait, right?
True. And you get to see your progression, like, oh my gosh, look at what I was
Exactly.
posting. I mean, the craziest, funniest thing ever is Facebook memories. And what goes far back is when Facebook first started. It was like, so I'm like embarrassed with myself when I read it. I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I saying? Because like, it used to say, what did it used to say? What are you doing right now? Or I don't know, it would say something and then you would like finish it, but the only part that posted was the finishing part, but not
oh my
God.
That's so funny. Well, I mean, I feel like if you aren't cringing at your old post, you're not growing. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, totally. And it's nice to look back at that growth and be like, okay, I've gotten somewhere, not just on likes and followers and all that stuff. Cause again, it's not about, that's the one thing I love about Gary Vee is he's constantly like, it's not about the likes and the followers. It's about the connections and the content. So people need to stop focusing on that. And I don't know when that's going to hit the US or Instagram. I keep waiting for the likes to disappear or whatever, but that'll be a whole nother show. We'll have to figure out.
Really.
What to do after that.
Jeez.
Okay, ladies, it was so awesome. So much good stuff. I loved hearing your stories and all the good tidbits, and everybody needs to go check out Go To Agent Society. What do you recommend if somebody's just trying to like look around? Do you recommend the Facebook group, the website, like if they just want to see what's up?
Yeah, absolutely. If they are looking to ditch paid advertising, cold calling, and door knocking, definitely head to www.freeleadswithease.com. Beautiful. I know, it just rolls right off the tongue.
Hey.
And if you are looking for help with Canva, just search Canva for real estate agents in Facebook and it'll come right up.
Perfect. Perfect. And we'll have all of the links in the show notes and all that good stuff. thank you so much for being here and taking the time. And you guys have trainings going on this week. That was another thing we didn't touch on, but I always do this. I always close and I'm like, oh, wait, you guys do trainings. How often are you doing those? And is that a new thing or have you been doing that?
It's a little bit newer. We're, starting to show up with like the bigger brokerages and doing trainings and such. So we are available for that. So if anyone is interested, they can go to, what is our website again, Chase? Go to agentsociety.com. Fill out that contact box. Let us know.
Yeah, no, that I might hit you guys up and do it. Oh my gosh, I should totally do that.
Yes.
I'm going to do that. I love that because brokerage, there's so many small boutique brokerage owners and they can only do so much. And we don't take newer agents because we just don't have the infrastructure. We're like, we can't help you. We don't have the training. It's just not what we want to do as business owners, my partner and I. And so, but we have agents that always want to learn new stuff and all that. I'm totally going to talk to you guys about doing that with our brokerage. That would be so fun.
Yes,
that would be fun.
All right, girls, thank you again for being here. You guys go check them out. All the links are in the show notes and I appreciate you so much. Thanks, Katie and Chase.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.